Why do some men effortlessly attract admiration, while others, despite trying harder, keep getting ignored or pushed away? What if the problem isn't about what you're not doing right, but about what you're unknowingly doing wrong, every single day? Because in the game of attraction, the biggest mistakes aren't loud. They're silent, and they slowly kill her respect without you even noticing. Let me ask you something personal. Have you ever been in a situation where you gave your best, your time, your attention, your energy, only to watch her drift further away? You were kind. You were present. You were even willing to compromise. And yet, the connection faded. The spark died. And you're left asking, what did I do wrong? Here's a truth most men are never taught. Attraction isn't built by doing more. It's preserved by doing less of the wrong things. We live in a world that tells men to step up. Be more available. Be more giving. Be more emotional. And while those things have value, when done from a place of fear or insecurity, they backfire, fast. You see, attraction doesn't operate like a checklist. It's not about being the perfect guy. It's about being a man with presence. A man with boundaries. A man who doesn't crumble just to earn someone's approval. Because here's the paradox. The more you chase her validation, the more invisible you become. The more you bend your standards, the less she respects you. And the more you try to win her over, the more you lose yourself. Most men think they lost the girl because they weren't enough. But in reality, they lost her because they gave away their edge, piece by piece, through habits that felt harmless, even noble. This video is your reminder to stop doing that. Not by turning cold or distant. But by recognizing that your value isn't something she gives you, it's something you embody. So today, we're not talking about tips to get her attention. We're going deeper. Into the 5 things men must never do with a woman, not if you want short-term games, but if you want lasting respect, desire, and connection. Ready? Let's get into it. 1. Don't seek validation, stop needing her to approve you. Have you ever caught yourself asking? Are you mad at me? Do you still like me? Or maybe you've said something, and then immediately looked to her face, hoping for approval. Let's be honest, we've all done it. But here's what most men don't realize, seeking validation is not an act of love, or emotional honesty. It's a signal of insecurity. And whether she's conscious of it or not, it kills attraction faster than anything else. You see, when you rely on her reaction to feel okay about yourself, you're silently telling her. My confidence depends on you. My worth is in your hands. And that's heavy, emotionally, psychologically, even spiritually. No woman wants to carry that weight. She doesn't want to be your therapist. She doesn't want to manage your emotions. She wants a man who can hold himself together, regardless of what mood she's in. Here's the truth. When you need her to validate you, she starts to doubt you. And when she doubts you, she distances herself. Not because she doesn't care, but because she can't trust you to lead. And without that trust, attraction withers. So how do you stop this cycle? Step 1, detach from her reaction. Don't stare at her after every joke. Don't panic if she's quiet. Let your words and actions come from your core, not from her facial expression. Step 2, give validation, don't seek it. Compliment her, not to win points, but to express truth. 2, don't put her on a pedestal, respect yourself first. Let me ask you this. Have you ever met a guy who treats a woman like a goddess, showers her with compliments, agrees with everything she says, and puts her needs above his own? Only to get ghosted, ignored, or friend-zoned. Here's the harsh truth most men refuse to hear. The more you worship her, the less she sees you. Now don't get me wrong, respect, kindness, and appreciation are vital. But when admiration turns into obsession, and chivalry becomes submission, you stop being a man in her eyes. You become a fan. And fans don't get respect. They get used, or forgotten. There's a dangerous lie floating around. If I treat her like a queen, she'll treat me like a king. But that only works when she already sees you as a king. Otherwise, you're just another man handing over the crown, hoping she'll let you keep a seat at the table. When you place her on a pedestal, you're sending a silent message. You're above me. You're better than me. My happiness depends on your presence. And whether she realizes it or not, that imbalance makes her uncomfortable. Because deep down, no woman wants to lead a man. She wants to walk beside one. So how do you fix this? First, stop over-complimenting. If you tell her she's amazing every 5 minutes, she won't believe it. Worse, she'll wonder what you're trying to prove. Compliments are most powerful when they're earned, honest, and rare. Second, build a life outside of her. If your entire identity revolves around her attention, she'll sense the desperation. Purpose is magnetic. Have goals. Have passions. Be a man on a mission, and let her join, not become the mission. Third, set boundaries. If she says something out of line, call it out. If she disrespects you, don't stay silent. A woman respects a man who respects himself, even when it means creating tension. Attraction isn't about submission. It's about polarity, two complete people meeting as equals, not one kneeling before the other. So remember. She doesn't want a servant. She wants a man. And the moment you stop worshipping her, is the moment she starts seeing your worth. Step 3, anchor your worth in yourself. You are not here to prove you're enough. You are enough. Because you choose to be solid, consistent, and grounded. Confidence is not loud. It's not a performance. It's the calm certainty of a man who knows who he is, even if the world doesn't clap for him. And that man? That man doesn't beg for attention. He commands it, without saying a word. 3. Don't let her control the relationship, lead with calm strength. Here's a truth most men overlook. Women will test you. Not because they're manipulative. Not because they enjoy drama. But because they need to know who they're dealing with. She's not testing your patience to break you. She's testing your center to trust you. She wants to know. Can you hold your ground when things get tough? Will you stay calm when emotions run high? Are you a man who leads, or one who folds under pressure? And yet, this is where many men fail. They try to be the nice guy. They avoid conflict at all costs. They say yes when they want to say no. They apologize just to keep the peace. Even when they've done nothing wrong. And slowly, they hand her the steering wheel. She starts making all the decisions. She sets the pace. She defines the rules. And you? You become reactive. Passive. Invisible. But here's the paradox. The more control you give her, the less safe she feels. Not because she's power-hungry, but because deep down, she doesn't want to lead. She wants to trust that you can. Women are biologically wired to seek direction, not dominance. But emotional leadership. Grounded clarity. A steady presence. So how do you step into that role? First, have a vision. Know what kind of relationship you want. Know where you're going in life, and invite her to join you, not define it for you. A man with direction is magnetic. Second, stop being afraid of disagreement. You're not supposed to agree on everything. And tension isn't a threat, it's a signal for honest communication. Let her feel that you can handle her intensity without collapsing into approval seeking. Third, make decisions. Lead. This doesn't mean you control her. It means you offer structure. You move forward. You don't wait for her to choose everything, dinner, plans, pace, labels. Because when you stop leading, she starts questioning. If I'm the one guiding this, what value does he actually bring? Women don't crave control. They crave a man they can relax around. A man they trust to hold the space. To make the hard calls. To be steady in the chaos. So ask yourself. Are you giving away the lead just to keep the peace? Or are you building a relationship she actually feels safe in? 4. Don't fear walking away, leave when it no longer respects you. Let's be honest. One of the hardest things for a man to do, is to walk away from a woman he deeply cares about. But here's the reality, if you're too afraid to lose her, you already have. See, many men stay in relationships that drain them, emotionally, mentally, even spiritually, because they've been taught that real men don't give up. So they tolerate disrespect. They make excuses. They chase after someone who's no longer chasing them. And they call it love. But what it really is fear. Fear of being alone. Fear of not finding better. Fear of losing something that, deep down, already left. And this fear creates a dangerous dynamic. You start shrinking yourself to stay safe. You become agreeable. Passive. Dependent. You stop setting boundaries, because you're terrified of pushing her away. But here's the paradox. The man who is least afraid to walk away, is often the one she fights hardest to keep. Because he doesn't stay out of desperation. He stays by choice. And that makes all the difference. So, when should you walk? 1. When she disrespects you. Mocking your opinions, undermining your goals, crossing your boundaries, repeatedly, is not love. If you allow it once, you teach her it's acceptable. 2. When she plays emotional games. If she's hot and cold, uses silence as punishment, or strings you along for validation, that's not connection. That's control. 3. When she stops caring. You'll know. Her words won't match her actions. Her effort fades. She treats you like an option, not a priority. So how do you walk away, powerfully? Don't explain. Don't beg. Don't make a scene. You're not walking away to hurt her. You're walking away because you respect yourself too much to stay where you're not valued. Leave in silence, and mean it. Don't check in. Don't just see how she's doing. Because every time you look back, you lose a piece of the strength it took to leave. Remember. A woman may not respect a man who begs. But she'll never forget the man who walked away, with dignity, clarity, and purpose. 5. Don't be inconsistent, be the same man everywhere. There's one trait that quietly separates high-value men from those who are easily dismissed: consistency. Not the boring kind. Not routine or predictability. But a deep, unwavering consistency in who you are, your values, your principles, your presence. Because here's what most men don't realize. When you change who you are depending on who you're with, women don't see you as adaptable. They see you as untrustworthy. At first, it might seem harmless. You act funny around your friends, more serious around her. You claim to want depth, but dodge real conversations when things get emotional. You talk about commitment one day, then disappear the next time things get hard. You're not trying to be fake. You're just trying to be liked. But in that effort to please, you lose your core, and that's what makes her pull away. Because to a woman, inconsistency doesn't just feel confusing. It feels unsafe. Why? Because a woman's deepest biological instinct is to seek stability in a partner. Not just financial stability, but emotional, psychological, and moral stability. She needs to know that the man she's with won't crumble under pressure, change when it's convenient, or shift his values just to avoid discomfort. If today you're confident, but tomorrow you're insecure. If one minute you lead with strength, but the next you shrink in self-doubt. She doesn't know which version of you she's getting. And if she can't trust your foundation, she can't feel safe surrendering into the relationship. So how do you become truly consistent? 1. Know what you stand for. Define your values. Write them down. Who are you when no one's watching? That's your compass, never betray it, no matter who you're around. 2. Be the same man in all rooms. Whether you're with your boss, your friends, or the woman you love, let your core remain the same. You can shift your tone, but not your truth. 3. Match your words with your actions. Don't say you value integrity, then ghost her when things get real. Don't talk about goals, then waste your days scrolling. Consistency is rare. But it's powerful. Because in a world full of men who bend and blend, the one who stands firm is unforgettable. So be the man whose presence is predictable, in the best way. The man who brings calm to chaos. Who says what he means. And means what he says. Conclusion, become the man who cannot be moved. So, let's bring it all together. We've talked about 5 habits that quietly erode a man's power in relationships. Seeking validation, when your self-worth depends on her approval. Putting her on a pedestal, idolizing her while diminishing yourself. Letting her control the relationship, giving up your leadership to avoid tension. Fearing to walk away, staying even when your standards are being broken. Being inconsistent, molding yourself to fit the moment instead of living your truth. These aren't just dating mistakes. They're deeper than that. They're signs that a man has forgotten his own center, that he's lost touch with the solid ground beneath his feet. But here's the truth. You don't need to be perfect. You don't need to impress her. You need to be grounded. Clear. Consistent. The kind of man who doesn't need to be chosen, because he's already chosen himself. That's the man who leads without controlling. Who stays calm when others react. Who stands tall not because he's trying to prove something, but because he simply refuses to betray who he is. Women don't respect men who chase their approval. They respect men who live with intention, who have boundaries, vision, and inner calm. In a world full of noise and weakness, the man who is unmoved becomes unforgettable. So here's the question you have to ask yourself. Are you the kind of man a woman can't help but respect? Or are you still negotiating for her attention, while losing your own strength? Because at the end of the day, attraction isn't about gimmicks. It's about self-respect. And when you own that, everything changes. If this message hit home, don't just listen and move on. Live it. Embody it. And if you're ready to keep becoming that kind of man, this channel is here for you. Hit the like button if this spoke to something real in you. Subscribe for weekly insights to sharpen your mind and steady your heart. And drop a comment below with one truth you're choosing to live by starting today. Remember, strength begins the moment you stop asking for permission. Stay grounded. Stay clear. And I'll see you in the next one.